Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Colin Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're going to give you a couple of replays this week from the Battle for the Besieged tournament that happened, the charity tournament that happened recently. The first one of these fights over here, Onslaught goes on between who, Rang?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves an AngryBird playing as 20th Panzer, and right-hand side we have ElBowser playing as a new 97th Guard Infantry Division.
So you and I were talking about the guards just before we came on here. What is so different about the 97th Guard versus everyone else?
They got a lot of guards, like 5 cards of them. They got some good tanks, such as T-3045s and IS-2s, and the main thing is the off-map Andrusha, which is 300mm rocket off-map. It makes a lot of things go kaboom.
It certainly would seem to do so. Now, the funny thing I was struck just by the ridiculousness of it is we have the Boy to Stalin over here from the good old 20th Panzer. And not for nothing, but whenever I see the Boy to Stalin, I always want to think of something, it means like little Stalin as opposed to captured one.
I
I
just
don't know,
think of Stalin in the pirate outfit.
yes, or like the little like frail with like a bib, that'd be amazing. Either way,
Yeah.
either way, I'm totally there. You can see the kind of standard opening happening here as both sides try to go and Germans, of course, being on the easier side of this, take the lower town. But there are plenty of guards that are ready there for a push, and I imagine it's going to happen when that 300 mil observer plane gets close enough to drop some arty.
Yeah, so it's gonna make a lot of things blow up very quickly. But it's a pretty heavy opener here for AngryBird, investing a lot in these Panzer IIIs, the Boy to Stalin, the Pack 40s. It seems like he's going to be trying to make some sort of tank play happen, I think, down south. Yeah, down south. But I hope he maybe... I mean, he has a Recon Panzer III, at least. But, oh, the Recon off-map just got shot down. But hey, we're going to see some rockets at least.
So I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, that's a very, very different departure from what we're used to seeing. As kind of, ooh, interesting. We have this tiny Tenko Desantniki guard push that's going to inject themselves into German lines, with only an Ersatztruppen really there to kind of bother them. I mean, that could be kind of caught off guard pretty quickly. I'd like to think that maybe the ME-109 can get called on in to strafe them. For the moment, he's just kind of chilling.
Here comes
But
the
where are...
rockets.
You know, I confess I always am hoping to see the rocket contrails like come in from off the map, but just the entire thing falls aflame. I mean,
Oh,
I get it.
it's just like movie pyrotechnics, you know. They just had all the 300mm rockets, yeah, conveniently in the ground.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's amusing because if you look at that town, there is no more town.
Oh,
But the 300mm rockets, that does not leave much to the imagination in terms of, let's say, survivability, of which there is very, very little.
yeah. I mean, it's the first time I've actually seen that been used, and by God, that's pretty nasty. I mean, if there's more units here, there probably wouldn't be after it's done.
So it is mildly amusing that right now ElBowser is not pushing forward because of 2 men and a flamethrower. He legitimately doesn't know
Yeah.
that there's only that there. I can almost guarantee you.
Yeah, I think he's hoping for. Yeah, it's quite funny because he did the off-map artillery, but didn't follow through with it. And yeah, he's really missing out on an opportunity to make some push happen in this town.
Yeah, but I think it's because he doesn't know that material isn't dead.
Yes.
Or is dead, rather. Meanwhile, down to the south, that flanking move over here by that P3L for one. P3L is down. P3M, shockingly enough, cannot see the 45 mil that had them in defilade. Looking elsewhere, we're slowly getting some more infantry coming in. No, Gepards are coming in. Okay, so the Gepards are going to kind of go and keep things entertaining at long range. Meanwhile, to the north, sniper team and guard squad. I don't see this Ersatztruppen holding. I'm going to see a rupture opening up here in the middle of the German lines, and I think that's why we're seeing a P3L shifting to the north.
Yeah, this is a pretty good push from ElBowser. He's not spending a lot of points here. He's just buying some infantry and getting some pretty easy territory currently by taking this hill, as right now AngryBird is definitely heavily focused down south with his armoured push. It seems like it's gonna get halted. It's the 45 mil. He did kill the T-3045, which is pretty good. But when this 2 gets in position, he doesn't really have any artillery or maybe a bomber plane to blow it up, because that's gonna cause some serious hurt.
Yeah, and the words of the immortal Willem Dafoe and the Boondock Saint, there was an effing ambush.
He's
Two
moving up the
anti-tank
boy to
guns with
Stalin.
guns.
Yeah.
What's that?
He's moving up the boy to Stalin at least. I'm actually quite happy about it because I'm not doing anything back here in the town. And if the boy to Stalin leading the charge, if he can get some extra infantry to clear up the Russian position on that hill, he could be able to completely capture it, and that'd be pretty big.
Yeah, it's much harder than you think to aggress into that area, and now the 45 mil is focusing on the Stalin. So, not for nothing, I feel like he's only stalling the death of his own troops by engaging. And now actually with as well we have the IG-18s that can all start engaging. So this is going to be rather interesting to find.
It seems like AngryBird's like pretty much reimagining the opening of Operation Barbarossa by doing these large tank pushes without any infantry support. Because like right now he's pretty much can't move past this town on the southern side, and it's very good that he's not going to go in it because there's an angry guard squad there with some grenades which would like to say hello to his tanks.
Indeed. Now, I think I'd be mildly amused by the fact that all of these anti-tank guns are moving to the south. So it's going to be anti-tank front, which is going to absolutely shellac anything that moves forwards.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's already been impacts down there as well.
Yeah, it's meant
bailed
to
out.
knock out the Panzer III trying to reinforce the other ones, and now the other Panzer III's kind of in a conundrum. They can't really push forward because they're going to the town, and if they push back, they'll just get exposed by the anti-tank guns. They've kind of hidden behind the town right now. Seems like he's going to move them a little bit north to maybe just try and cut off any reinforcements going into that northern town. And also provide them fire support, maybe, against the infantry on the hill. So, it's a shame that you couldn't get any infantry with that initial push. Just one or two, like, even Ersatz troop and squad. Just to,
Well, you asked, and he delivers. There's 3 of them coming in right now.
There we go. It's just, getting them over here is going to be a bit of a pain, just due to the anti-tank gun defilade.
Oh, you mean down to the town? Oh, no, never mind. That's not going to happen. No.
Those Panzer III's are, bit off a little bit more than they can chew.
Checking back to the north for a second, we do have the P4G and another Ersatz Truppen squad. Yep, the initial Ersatz Truppen did die, but he sold his life for a long enough time that reinforcements could be brought in. You can see everything kind of sealing up that gap. Unfortunately for AngryBird, he is down at 1311 right now. And it's not, an inordinate position. It's not like he's going to not be able to come back from this. It'll just be a little bit harder.
Nice thing is both sides are using the same income, which is Maverick, which is currently the new income change, pretty much the best one to go for at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nerfed, but yeah, I feel like he's using a lot of armored forces early on. I feel like he's not going to have much once we get into like C phase, so it's really going to come down to using these Panzer III's and for successfully getting some important engagements. So ElBowser is now moving up at IS-1, and that could prove to be a bit of a pain in the arse.
Looking, up to the north, okay. Yeah, that would be a lot more terrifying if there weren't 4 Panzers in the area.
Yeah, but the IS-1's pretty much impenetrable from those Panzers. It's just the stress.
I feel like the IS-1 is kind of the epitome of like sticks and stones might break my bones kind of thing. The sticks, the shells are not going to destroy him, but the nasty things they say can just shock him into just kind of immobility, and that's almost just as good in this case.
Communism
like
doesn't work.
Exactly. Lenin wore army boots.
What?
And now we have a furball happening in favor of the Germans as this Cobra is dogfighting with what basically ends up becoming an airborne mongoose. But this ME-109 gets in a turning fight with another Cobra, and that goes down. Quick thing, down to the south, it looks like there's just a bare 6 Russians left before that southern town falls apart.
It's pretty good at least that he has managed to pretty much capture that town now, because it does get the Panzer III's back into his position, and he's moving in his Ersatz troop in the far south. I'm just curious if they're going to make it or not, because those anti-tank guns are, and willing to blow stuff up.
They're ready and willing, yes, but I think they're all focused so hardcore on the boy to Stalin, and who wouldn't? I mean, that boy is thick with 3 Cs.
Yeah. Like a distraction tank. Everyone shoot me!
Exactly, the CCCR tank. Oh yeah, definitely. And you can see the IG-18s, I'm actually surprised the IG-18s have been as effective as they have been. I didn't see the JU-87.
Yeah, knocked out the highest run. Pretty big kill. I mean, that was the only highest run in that division, man. He had run of him, and now it's gone.
What about his kids?
I know.
Monsters. We have Panther Strikes we moved on in. I think this is just to kind of give a little bit of more like shouting power to these tanks as they move through. Maybe a little bit of optics. I don't see a big reason necessarily for them. And also kind of embarrassingly down to the south, the Soviets control most of that town, but with nobody. It's like the Phantom Army.
Yeah, I mean, they're losing, like, guard squads here and there. But at the same time, AngryBird doesn't have a lot of infantry. He's pretty much playing the A-phase ersatz spam, and he still has more ersatz trooping to go for. As he's really just focusing on that, you know, not heavy armor, but a lot of armor early on. And it has worked out pretty well for him. He's got the 1311. He still needs to clear out his pocket, because he still technically does not own the hill down south. But it shouldn't be too hard.
The major concern right now is there's still a T-34-85, which on the face of it isn't going to go and break an IS, the Boy to Stalin. But what could break the Boy to Stalin is the fear of flame, that kind of primal fear of anything. There we go.
AG-18 does not care about flamethrower. He doesn't care about many things, really. Or Zis guns, as he's managed to pretty much knock out an entire anti-tank gun position with anti-infantry guns. Who'd have thunk?
Well, the little flesh bags around it kind of tend to be a little bit more, or a little bit less durable than you might think. Down to the south, you do have more guards trying to come in to reinforce that town. And with airshots in the opening, they probably should be able to fight them to a standstill pretty easily.
Yeah, I think it'd be probably a good idea for his Panther Freeze to hook on down south and provide some much-needed fire support. But I think he kind of wants to keep him there, just to stop any reinforcements coming in up north. As we're also in an IS-2 now, and it's a 1944 model car. That's might as well be impenetrable, unless it's a cluster bomber.
Well, I think that's why the 20th Panzer, you can see, has a platoon of T-34s, captured T-34s, and a P-4, some Osttroopen moving into the north. By the way, again, Osttroopen almost as wasteful as Ersatz-Truppen, but I suppose when you need somebody to hold a rifle and theoretically point at the enemy, Osttroopen is the way to go.
They get the slight upgrade of getting a machine gun.
It's
such
I'm sorry.
Coveted piece of equipment.
It's bad to me.
But yeah, I do like his, like, he's going pretty heavy up north here with the T-34s. He also is going pretty heavy the Panzer IVs, but he has an IS-2 up north in an open field. It's going to come down to the cluster bomber, or this entire post is going to get pushed back. He has the cluster bomber coming out. There's no anti-air up north. He has 137 mil, but I don't think it'll be enough to Shreyar. It might be.
Well, and it's too busy shooting down the ME 109. So, but the ZSU, this is more than enough.
Oh, yeah. Really get close enough? I know it's gonna be pretty tight, I think, in this angle.
They're gonna get it. There's no way he's not making it a target. No way. He's gonna miss.
Oh! He only got like.
Whoa!
Whoa! I don't think he got all the bombs. He only got like half the bombs off, but just enough to knock out that tank. That's a pretty huge blow.
Yeah, now the anti-aircraft net is down to the north. It's just that ZSU and Adushka down further south. And P4 is going to be able to just, I think, shut down this incoming rush of 76s.
Yeah, this is another really good poster from AngryBird. He's managed to use his Panzers pretty effectively to hold on to, well, a good point. He's going to get thrown by the T-34s, and I don't think it's going to be... He's in a pretty good defensive position. But that's a lot of T-34s. We'll see.
If you just moved another couple hundred meters forward, or you know what, sit the tanks just behind this forested trees on the ridgeline to the west. That I think would be perfect. Bring the P-Shreks in and kind of go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. ElBowser's being smart. He's not just gonna run up T-34's hill one by one like lemons. He's gonna move them all at the same time, which is the best bet. And here we go.
And here comes the death of the P4s.
Yep.
You don't show him your heel, dude. What are you, a first day on the job?
Come on, buddy. He's trying to book it. Yo, he gets a move in the shot kill.
He's like, stabilizers? I don't need no stinking stabilizers. And he dies just before he would have made it to cover.
I almost made it, but
The
not
funny
today.
thing is that right now, this is when I take the Shreks in, and I just rush them into the nearest wooded cover.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no infantry. There's no infantry there.
There's barely been any infantry at all this match. I just really see a bunch of guards be spammed into the town, but for the most part, this has been a very tank-heavy match, all things considered. There's a nice change of pace from the blatant infantry spam that we see all the time. We're just getting some good old, for the most part, medium tank fights right now.
There's a certain about a murder that's just kind of gonna start to happen here. Like, I don't even know where to look for this, because AngryBird looked like it was gonna be a rush and just absolutely slaughter everybody, but no, that's no longer the case.
Yeah, like, down south is completely collapsed from AngryBird here. The Panther Threes are all gone. He's bringing up some Osttrooping, but he has an IS-2 1944 here, and he's gonna need a cluster bomber to kill it. And these Osttrooping aren't gonna hold his force back. They're doing a Panzerfaust.
You can't trust him with those.
Okay, that's too good of equipment. Shoot it backwards, you know?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The whole backblast area thing, oh, please, they're gonna kill themselves. Checking back into the north real quick. Well, the Panther Shreks haven't fired because there's been these T-34 on T-34 action here.
Oh.
And almost pathetically, the other T-34s are not winning against the T-34s. It's courtesy more of the 45 mil.
Yeah, it's at 45 is in a pretty good position to get some flanking shots, so coming in pretty clutch here from ElBowser. We got more Panther 4s now, but of a smaller gun variety.
Oh, the infantry support one, the short barrel's gonna be fine.
Good for infantry support, but in a tank fight against other against T-34s in general, not gonna be all that useful. But I think he's just bringing them into the town. I can actually see. No, he's bringing them up north. That's one to the center, I should say. They're not going to perform that well, I believe.
Well, the unfortunate thing right now is the IS-2 is going to be more than capable. Oh, geez. Now he's trying to. Why are you going down the road? This is painful. Oh, because he's luring it in with the. Here's the Ju-87.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I thought the T-34 was going to get hit with some friendly fire.
Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, knocking out the IS-2 and the T-34 cavalry charge here is gonna be enough to stimmy at advance for now. There are still some guards on the hill, but not many of them, and there's many Osttroopers which are heading Ost.
Well, the almost kind of unfortunate part here. Wow, it's Osttrooping being brought in swarms. The kind of embarrassing thing for the Soviets is that right now they're going to get pushed back by T-34s.
Mm-hmm. They're getting destroyed by their own weapon.
Actually, you know what? This would be a perfect time for those anti-tank dogs.
Oh yeah, because they'd be T-34s. They'd know which tank to run over.
Exactly. They have the exact target to go after.
Oh. There must have been some engagements in World War II where the Germans were using T-34s and the Russians, there's like some sort of confusion that happened. That must have happened. Like, because seeing how many T-34s are in this bloody game on the German side, they must have had like whole platoons of just T-34 tanks. There must have been confusion as hell. Apart from when they start shooting at you, of course. You know. Yeah, and you might get the picture, but before that, you know, like, hey, aren't those our tanks? Yeah, they look like our tanks. They got some red crosses on them.
Yeah, we call that the Ender Wiggins stratagem. P-Shreks being thrown on in. I think 20th Panzer is falling a little short of infantry. We just hit Phase C. So
Yep.
we might see a shade more, but it's just, again, still AirSat spam and Osttroop spam,
Yeah.
which is the major breakdown for a lot of this.
Unfortunately, he is fighting against. I mean, the guards. The guard spam is pretty decent, but it's no longer guard DP spam. Before it was SVTs. Now they're just pretty standard infantry. Yo, better in your troop, and I do like seeing some actual proper infantry with the sauce troop and being brought in. They even bring them in half tracks. So I guess he's gonna try to rush them in close, and I believe they have Molotovs. I think they do.
Yes, they do.
And as we all know, Molotovs are the key to any infantry fight. I mean, screw bringing the submachine gun guys, just bring some Molotovs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's only one way to win a woman's heart, and that's with fire and flame.
Yeah, and a good drink to boot.
True. True. We're going to see it off-map 220 start dropping down on top of these guards, and if he can keep these guards in place for another 10 or 12 seconds, it's going to be absolutely beautiful for him.
I feel like he's going to be able to do that, and even if T-30 falls, or maybe just move a little bit closer, it's going to be a very lovely barrage from AngryBird. And the Panzer F4 F1s are actually in a good spot to, well, provide some of a nice fire support.
Yes, indeed. And right now, that infantry has just been pounded into the dust. There's just one squad of guards who's not actively tucking their tail between their legs and kissing their, you know, ever-loving selves goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
There's
important
another
thing
IS-2 to the north, by the way. Yes, sir?
is, like, you know, AngryBird still has a good amount of, like, tanks on the field. I mean, I don't think he has many more tank reinforcements to call on anymore, but that big blob of T-34s in the town, once he clears that place up with Stosh Troop and he can move on through and, you know, blow stuff up.
He can certainly do so. And yep, there's your Stosh Troop and MP4s, PP Shahs, Molotovs. But guards are just kind of continuing to hold the south. Jeez, it's 14-10. I mean, we haven't even really paid attention to the slaughter that's gone on to the north. You see the P4s by the P4 short barrels getting pushed back courtesy of those Zis guns over here to the northeast of the town. But just down to the south, it's just been murderous back and forth consistently.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's been very back and forth, especially on the far southern flank here, but... Oh, ElBowser's gonna be retorting with his own off-map. Only 132mm this time, but that still should be enough to get some good suppressions and halt this advance. But also all he can really do right now is to try and stall this advance for now, as he doesn't really have any reinforcements here, and he's already lost two of those IS-2s. He does have enough run up north. But yeah, is there... Oh, he's got like one anti-aircraft piece, so... If there's a Ju-87 or heck a Panzerschreck which decides to say hello, he's probably not going to have a good time.
Oh, very unlikely.
Hmm.
And the first shells are beginning to fall in there. And yes, this will retard the push for right now. But AngryBird is still in the ascendant. I mean, there are these miniature, I would say, counterattacks being posted. And indeed, to the north, there's just a couple of flags that really could be AngryBirds if we just moved like another 30 or 40 meters. Like, we're talking minute differences which would really pay dividends.
It's always funny how the front lines and the flags always interact, because it always feels like it's on the knife's edge, but really you have to get much closer than you think you do to actually flip it.
Mm-hmm.
We got off map down south here to clear up the guards'
Nope, cancelled.
Oh, never mind. Oh. I guess he doesn't need to, because he's taking the point and the guards are running. Yeah, it's going to be doing it up north. Yeah, Angry is in a really good position. It's just being able to hold out position. Considering that, you know, down south he has literally the high ground and a lot of tanks in the center. I think it's going to be pretty tough for ElBowser. I think for him it's going to come down to really just good IS-2 play.
Can we talk about the fact that the IS-2 to the north is getting shellacked by a 75 Pac 40? And the Panzerschreck is just a shade out of distance. I'm pretty sure he's waiting for that to be stressed. Yeah, he's going for the kill. And he's going to be in range, too.
The Pac 40 is distracting him.
2, 1. Surf's up, dude. And that's how doves cry.
Yeah. 25-point squad kills a 160
120?
point
160? Is
tank.
it that much now?
Yeah, IS-244 is really... It's like the biggest tank that you can get for the Russians. I think the regular IS-2 is 145, and then that one is 160, because it's got the improved armor. And a slightly improved gun.
Well, the tanks are slowly falling over here on AngryBird's side. This column of guards moving in at Ogdamachiki is probably among the last of the Russian reserves.
Mm-hmm.
And this Pack 40 on the southern approach is not helping here. He's just throwing rounds down range with reckless abandon. This guy's really locked things down.
Yeah, and the Panzer IV's round on the hill is helping out quite a bit. That's like the nice thing, once you capture this whole southern hill area and that entire town, especially on AngryBird's side, is that it's pretty easy to, stop anybody from actually getting into it afterwards. There's a lot of open ground between you and Gem.
There were some unfortunate misclicks here. We actually have 3 squads of guards against an eastern edge. Apparently, mutinying is still a possibility here in the Soviet army. Those guys do not want to go to the front, and I can't say that I blame them.
Mm-hmm. We got
lost the anti-tank.
No, just down south. Making some pretty decent headway. Until the armored vehicles come into high support range.
One by one, the last Soviet defenders fall in the town. It's 15-9, and I don't know that he's coming back from this. But these 37 mils, honestly, if he kills the 37 mils, he gets the 45. The southern flank collapses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care if there's a T-34-85 there, big deal. I can carpet bomb that to death. But kill his anti-air, and there is nothing that can be done.
Yeah, yeah, ElBowser's is really out of position more than anything. And if you look in the center here, we got this Panzer push, Panzers and the T-34s, and it's really just coming down to like pretty good medium tank play, just pushing in the recarriers. I mean, all these pushes are lacking infantry, but AngryBird hasn't been punished too hard from anti-tank guns or anti-tank infantry for it to really matter in this match.
I might be wrong, but it looks like Ju-87 is being called on. I don't know if he's just going to start throwing bombs at the hillside. I'm not sure what he's doing. Okay, he's just going to go in circles.
Waiting for time to strike.
The time is now, sir. Hit the T-34-85.
Let's just enjoy the scenery.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure why he needs his stick time right about now, but if that's what he's doing. But here we are.
Oh, the off-map from AngryBird's going to come in just in time to hit a few of those guard squads trying to get into the town. And there's not much infantry really in here from AngryBird. We got a few SOS troops, but really it's, down to the actual armor holding this area.
It continues to be a puzzlement, I will say that much. P4 does go down in the central position, but the damage has been done. And you're going to see right now is these guard squads going to get pinned down. We still have one final guard squad who is now being pinned down as well. And not for nothing, but I think we're probably going to see a tap soon. Flammenwerfers, P4, P3, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see AngryBird having to, drive the blade home. I think ElBowser, yep, there we go.
Yeah. That's going to be the GG, and looking at the KD, yeah, 1,000-point difference, pretty standard difference.
Well, the ISUs, you can see right now, IS-2 taking the point to Stalin, a couple other kills, but like the big expensive tanks didn't get big expensive kill numbers. It was just kind of like you did decent.
Yeah, AngryBird managed to keep his tanks out of the way of the IS-2's scary gun, and also just blow him off the Stukas. That was pretty key in that match. ElBowser really needed Moranti early on to back up his IS-2s because they're such heavy investments, like losing one of them is such a huge deal. And in a match like that, when it's like tank fights, especially on that map, because you can just win that entire northern flank if you have a single IS-2 where they can't get killed. If you're just fighting medium tanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that really
Absolutely.
screwed over ElBowser by losing those heavy tanks.
Absolutely. But really, with that in mind, I mean, a big thank you to ElBowser and AngryBird for taking part in the Battle for the Besieged charity tournament. Like we said, we're going to bring you another one in just a couple of days here. Um, any final thoughts about this match, though, sir?
Nope.
All right. In that case, folks, until next time, I'm Connell Work.
And I'm Rangru. Take it easy.